Welcome back to a brand new video. This one's going to be a lot of information, a lot of talk and a lot of information. But before we get into the video, I got something in the mail, which I completely forgot that I ordered, and I was shocked to see them, and they're so awesome. So let's go check these out. So I actually got these stickers in the mail, which are from Only Snacks with 2 S's. Right? So I ordered these stickers. I saw them online. I ordered them, and they are such good quality, and they're so awesome. Little toasters for my turbo toaster. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Actually, they're really nice, and I really don't want to put it on the outside of my car. Maybe I'll stick them on something else. And I also got this awesome note, handwritten note. So big shout out to Only Snacks. Super awesome. Keep up the good work. Now, let's continue with this video. All right, let me get my notepad, and I don't know if I have any pictures. I might have to go get pictures and stuff so I could literally sit down and talk to you guys about my swap and my experience doing the swap. So let's get right into it. All right, got my coffee, got my notepad. Let's go talk. You want a little teaser for the next video. Don't want to show too much. All right. Let's get set up here. Beautiful day. All right. All right, so let's get into this. So, the 5-speed swap. Now I'm just gonna run through my list. So, first of all, I know a lot of elements are getting a little scarce out there. A lot of them are starting to rust, and the control arms are rusting off, which anybody that knows elements, that's what they do. So a lot of us, including myself, wants a 5-speed. So it's hard to find a 5-speed in the condition you want it, unless you want to get a Southern truck or a Southern element with no rust but has a blown up motor. I live in Pennsylvania. That's kind of unrealistic for me, right? So I actually found this one that I drive currently. I found it. It was rust free, but it had a blown motor in it, which I put the K24A out of the JDM motor, put that in there, and always had the idea of putting in manual swap, the 5-speed, and also boosting it. So I tried to plan accordingly and got my ECU, started getting parts together and waiting to pull the trigger, which the time was now, since I got that parts car. So if you want to try to tackle this, it is not super easy, but it's not too difficult where you couldn't do it, especially for a DIY or DIY. So let's go run through the list here. So first of all, you'll need the transmission, obviously. The shift linkage and brackets. So you're going to need all that stuff. The wiring for the engine, because the automatic one is different. This is one that I did not know was the intermediate shaft that goes from the passenger side. So that intermediate shaft is different. So I actually had to put, well, thank God I had another one, or I had one, but I had to put that on there. Fabricate the driver motor mount. So the driver motor mount is different. I just made one myself, but you could cut the spot welds, which I'll show in a picture. Cut the spot welds and just spot weld the original one on. I don't think you would have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, the chassis are the same. I was going to do that, but I figured I'd just make my own because it'll be a lot stronger. Clutch and flywheel. While you're in there, you might as well do a new clutch and flywheel. You must drill the holes for the clutch master cylinder. So the cool thing about these, between the automatic and the 5-speed, is the chassis are the same. So the bracket for the clutch master cylinder was there, and all you had to do was drill the holes for it, but the piece itself was already there, which was awesome. So you knew you just had to drill the holes out and good to go. For me, I got a tunable ECU, which, I mean, there's so many aftermarket ones, but for the street car world, it's K-Tuner or what's the other one? K-Pro, which I have a K-Tuner. I only did the K-Tuner because they supported the automatic transmission. When I did my swap, I wanted to make sure, I didn't know when I was going to do the 5-speed, so I had to do the K-Tuner to support the automatic, which I did my research at that time. It could be different now. I mean, I would rather go with a K-Pro. I think K-Pro is more, is better in the aspect of tuning. A lot more people know how to tune the K-Pros. Also, if you're not going to be running the tunable ECU, you have to make sure you have, get everything for the immobilizer. So I would do the ECU, the ignition, all the key locks, your driver door, passenger door, your trunk, all your key locks, and your clicker for your keyless entry. I would grab all that stuff, just so, and the key. You make sure you have the key to that set. And if you have that set with that manual ECU, then you shouldn't have a problem. All right, next up. Now we're going inside the truck now. So the dash harness. The dash harness is different. So you're gonna have to take your dash out. Unless, I mean, it could just be the same in the aspect of running your motor, but there's a lot of different wires for the automatic, especially like up in the shifter. There's the lockout. There's actually 2 plugs on your ECU that just supports automatic transmission. So I would just do the dash harness. It's an easy thing to do. The dash isn't that bad, especially if you watch my other video. I actually showed where the hidden bolts are, which those are the only ones that really give you a problem. The dash bar itself, which I also got a picture of this, is the center is different. I mean, you could possibly make the automatic one work. You just have to put, I would say just put nutsert in the other side and you'll run 3 bolts instead of 4. So, I mean, that doesn't have to be, but if you already have your dash out, you might as well just take the dash bar out. Because you got to get to all the wiring anyway, which the dash bar has to come out. The shifter. The shifter you have to change. Now, the clutch pedal and the brake pedal. The clutch pedal does require a little bit of a modification. So, the mount on the original setup obviously is just for the brake. There's nothing over on that side. So I'll put a picture in of where the bracket goes, but it's kind of like a U-shaped bracket that supports the top mount for the clutch pedal. Now the cool thing I've been saying with these chassis is they're all the same. So they don't have the bracket. The automatic ones don't have the bracket, but they do have, they're like little indentions, so you know exactly where that bracket goes. Check out in the picture, I just drilled my spot welds out, took the original one and welded it into this one. Obviously the brake pedal is different. It has the same mounts, but the brake pedal is different. Fabricate the top mount for the clutch pedal, which I literally just talked about. Also with the shift linkage. The shift linkage, the mounts are different from the single cable to the double cable. I also have a picture of that. Now all I did for that was I drilled the hole, because the holes are there, they just don't have the nuts welded into the body. So all I did was I drilled 2 bigger holes and put 2 nutserts in, and it worked just fine. Other than that, we're just going to keep moving forward on the build here. Now that's it for the 5-speed spot. If you have any questions, please just comment and I'll be more than glad to help you out in any way I possibly can. It wasn't that bad, especially if you do find a nice clean chassis that's an automatic, but you don't want an automatic, just get it anyway, because there is going to be 5-speed chassis that are either blown up or wrecked or rotted to hell, that are literally just going to go to the junkyard. So the one that I bought was from Copart. Found it. It had, everything was pretty good on it, but it was crashed in the front. So I paid $800 for that chassis. With the motor, everything was solid. Just about anyway. So I was able to sell the motor, sell the wheels, sell the doors, sell interior parts, and basically I got my transmission for free. That transmission goes from $800 to $1,000, especially the all-wheel drive transmission. So at the end of the day, with everything I sold, I got all my money back and then some, and got the transmission for free. So I think that's an excellent thing to do, is just get a chassis that's destroyed and pick up all the parts you need, your transmission, your wiring, and those couple brackets, and give it a shot. Because like I said, there's a lot of chassis out there that are nice, clean, rust-free, that are sitting around because the motor blew up. And I want to try to save as many of these cars as I possibly can, and mine being one of them. So that's it for the swap. But I want to start getting into the finishing this car, because it's like now I'm into all the tedious stuff now. So now I'm just doing my intercooler setup. I'm making sure there's no leaks. I had to reroute my oil line. I had to reroute my return line. There's a bracket that I want to put on the downpipe, because the downpipe is kind of like, if it loosens up, my exhaust is going to hit my cross member, or my what is that mount called? The engine cradle, the front cradle. Oh, the subframe, the front subframe. So if it starts loosening, it's going to hit that. So I want to build a bracket to just support it, so it's not just on the bolt. I got everything figured out in the surging issue that I had, and it was all because my map sensor. So I had a K-tuned 4-bar map sensor, and I don't know if it's just the sensor itself, or that the sensor just has to get completely mapped for what I have. I don't know. This car still has to go to the tuner, and I'll talk to him about it. But I put the factory map sensor. It runs perfect. Absolutely perfect. So as soon as I'm done with my intercooler, because as soon as it warms up, it kind of falls on its face. As soon as I get my intercooler all together and get it running absolutely the best I possibly can, then it's going right to, I got to find a tuner that's local to me, which I might have to drive for it. I'm not really sure. I hope I could do like remote stuff. So I could just remote, do a little rip, send it to them. They send me a tune, and we'll just keep going back and forth till that thing is just about ready. Eventually, I want to rip that whole system out, rip the K-tuner out, and I want to do Fuel Tech. Fuel Tech would be amazing to do everything I need this car to do, which I want it set up for the drag and drives. I want to do drag and drives with this car. Actually, my one friend just told me, which he's probably watching this, but he told me that there's one local that they do up where we live, and I had no idea they did it. I guess it's their first year. I didn't even hear about it, so I'm hoping to either do that one next year or get my ambulance ready so I could trailer this car down to Florida and do sick week, which that would be awesome to do. But I think that would be it for this video. It's just information. I'll throw pictures and stuff into where I'm saying the brackets and stuff like that, just so you can see where they're located and what they are. And then that would be it. So the next one, like I said, it's going to be the intercooler. I'm doing all that right now, which I'm going to do today. So that will be in the upcoming video. I'm gonna route everything that I need to, get that all squared away, and get back to you then. All right, till the next one. We'll see you guys.